Hello, hi guys, and it is Thursday and I am back with season 2 reviews for The Wife. I was a bit undecided about coming back, but yeah, some of you guys have been hounding me on my Instagram and have been trying to get me to do reviews for season 2. As much as I hate the show and I hate the book, really Tsar was like my least favorite wife, but yeah, already like the start of the show has me questioning whether I will continue doing the reviews for the season. There's just like so many things that are just not adding up, and it's just like time lapse, like it, yeah, it's a lot. But anyways, if you haven't subscribed, make sure that you click the subscribe button. Also, if you also comment down below and get your bell notifications on for my future videos. So let's get this video started. So yeah, it's season 2 and we're gonna start with episode 1, which is Prisoner 47735. Yes. So it starts off where it left off, with the boys in the car after taking Tsar out of prison, and they are driving on the road, and all of a sudden they stop the car and everyone jumps out and they get into another car that was waiting for them, and then they drive off. Then it goes to Mahlomu and Qhawe, and they're just like sleeping on her husband's bed, like that is something that is normal, like it's supposed to happen. So Mahlomu wakes up. I don't know what it is that wakes her up, but she wakes up, something like shooks her, or like startles her, and then she wakes up and she tells Qhawe to wake up. This nigga is not waking up. She's just like thinking he's in his own bed. So she's just like, no, you need to go. And he's like, no, why? And she's like, you need to go before Mkhele and them come back. And he doesn't want to leave, so she pushes him basically to go. So he shows us his butt cheeks, and then she goes to the bathroom and she changes into a robe, and she has a vacuum cleaner and she starts cleaning. Then it goes back to the boys and they come across a roadblock. Yeah. And Tsar just dips quickly and she hides behind the seat that's in front of her. And Mkhele opens his window. The police officer's like, license, gives him the license. He goes and checks the license disc. It's fine. He comes back. He's like, where are you coming from at this time of night? And he's just like, I'm coming from work. And he's like, you know, it's like after midnight. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, where do you work? And he's like, in town. It's like, where do you work? That is not for you to question. Like, for you is to take the ID and the license and check, and yeah, that's it. Where he works is none of your business. So he keeps on asking him these questions. I'm just thinking, Caleb, please not trip up. As much as I don't like Tsar, I don't want you guys going to prison. So he finally lets them go, and they go. Then they appear at a house, a place, and it's like 3 a.m. in the morning. They appear at some place. I'm thinking it's the house, but it wasn't. So yeah, Tsar and Nkosana are there, and they're just like looking at each other, like she can't believe that she's really out. And she's like, where is this guy that we're meeting? And Nkosana's just like, oh no, he's coming. And she's like, you can trust him. And he's like, yeah, I've worked with him before, and yeah, we can trust him, he'll be here. So as they are about to kiss each other, this guy comes up and he's like, oh, so this is her. And Nkosana's like, yeah, this is her. And then he's like, okay, you must never wake me up at 3 a.m. in the morning ever again. But yeah, let's get this started. I'm just going to set up. So he sets up, and they're just like eyeing each other, ogling each other, because I mean, like, they haven't touched each other or seen each other in so long. So it's just like, oh, fresh young love or whatever. And then guy sets up and tells Tsar to stand by the walls, like a wall, and then has like a white thing, and like yeah, stand there. And then he starts taking pictures of her, and then she's just very uncomfortable, and he's like, no, like, you need to be comfortable so I can take the pictures properly. And then Nkosana tries to talk to her and calms her down, like, relax, and then she does, kinda, but still awkward. So he takes the pictures, and Nkosana's like, are you good? And he's like, yeah, no, I'll work with these. Sana says, you know what I would like right now is a Streetwise 2, and she stays with the Stony. And then they laugh, and then she's like, is that place still like open? And he's like, yeah, we'll go there. So guy does whatever he does, and he's like, he's done. And she's like, you done? He's like, yeah. And gives her, oh, before that they ask her what name. He asked her what name she would like to use, and then she's like, Siphokazi is Kakani. Nkosana's like, my mother's name. Guys, wasn't Nkosana's mom Nomafu? Like, I'm very confused. Like, her name was Nomafu, so why is her name all of a sudden Siphokazi is Kakani? Anyway, so she chooses that name, and yeah, guy does the things that he needs to do, documentation done, and then that's it. So after that, it goes to Qhawe walking in Mahlomu's bedroom. So he knocks a little bit, like 2 knocks, like, and then all of a sudden he walks in and he has a tray. Guys, didn't I laugh? Like, since when are you making your brother's wife any type of drink or food and anything like that? Like, what the F? So yeah, he comes in, he is holding a tray, and my son was just like, what are you doing here? And he's like, no, I just made you a drink. Like, he's all smiles and all, like, this nigga, guys, like, I can't, like, I can't deal. Like, I can't understand, like, what is he thinking is gonna happen? Like, what is he thinking is gonna happen? So he says that to her, like, I made you like tea. And my mom is like, since when tea? I wanna count. Like, since when? Why are you making me tea? And she's like, no, you need to leave. And he's like, no, you can't tell me that what happened last night was. She's like, you need to leave right now. And he's like, Mahlomu, like, calm down, let's talk about this. And so Mahlomu is like, dude, you need to go before my husband comes back. She goes and sits down. She sits down on the bed, and he joins her. And he's like, no, let's talk. So it moves from them, and it goes to the house still, but like outside, so everybody's back. So the boys file out of the car, and Siphokazi is just, since her name's Siphokazi now, Siphokazi is just sitting in the car. And yeah, like, they just like hyped about what they did, and like they glad to be back home. And Nkosana's standing by the door of the car, and then she's like, Gugupila, and he's like, Sekai was. And then she gets out the car, and then Mkhele and Ngoba and Sambulo, they're all smoking there. And Za's just looking at this big house, and then she asks, whose cars are these? And he says, Izake, like, it's mine. Don't the cars belong to everybody in the home? But anyways, it's Big Brother house, so yeah, I guess. And he's like, oh no, is it? And then she's like, And then they walk in, the brothers go the other way to walk into, I guess, Mkhele's side of the house, the garage side. And then it goes to Mahlomu, and Qhawe is sitting on the bed, and Qhawe is just trying to talk to Mahlomu, and Mahlomu's like, Mkhele, iphakade lami. What a joke. At this point, it's such a joke, like, for her to speak like that. Like, honestly, after what she did, like, Sandile, I can let go of Sandile, but Qhawe, I can't let go of Qhawe, guys. Like, I can't. Like, Qhawe is effed up in the head for even thinking that he can have his brother's wife like that. Like, I don't know why type of ish he's thinking this is. This is no Bold and the Beautiful, where white people are okay with changing spouses. No. This is a black family, and it's a very Zulu black family. So I don't know what he's thinking. It's getting me reeled up. But anyways, so she says, Mkhele phakade lami, mina ngithanda Mkhele. And then he looks at her like kind of shocked that she's saying this. And then she's like to him, Qhawe, ngicela ukuthi ungayenzi impilo yami ukuthi ibe nzima. Already it's difficult, so please do not. He says to her that he cares for her, and he knows that last night was not a mistake. I can't, guys. I can't, like, I can't with Qhawe. Like, I am laughing because all the people who were hating on Mahlomu and Qhawe and was saying how Naledi and his love, ha! Watch what they're gonna do with Naledi. Look at how Qhawe is acting with Mahlomu. What do you think they're gonna do with Naledi? Is there even gonna be a Naledi? At this point, I don't think we're gonna get a Naledi because Qhawe is in love with his brother's girl. It's gonna be Mahlomu, his love, not Naledi, his love. So everything is gonna be butchered, just like they butchered Qhawe and Mahlomu. Naledi is also gonna be butchered. It is very, very clear. The only person, I guess, who's not gonna be butchered is freaking Tsar, which I don't know why, because Tsar has no substance whatsoever. But anyways, Qhawe says that, and as he's saying that, Mahlomu hears Qhawe laughing. So she's just like, Qhawe, you need to leave. Your brothers are back. Qhawe doesn't want to leave. Like, guys, I don't understand how Qhawe wants to tell Qhawe what happened. Like, I don't understand how he's thinking Qhawe is going to take it, or everyone else in the house is going to take it, what they did. Like, I don't know what he's thinking in his mind. Is the kitty that good that he is just like losing his mind? I don't know. Like, he got a taste and he's just like in love. I mean, like, he was in love with her before, but like now he's just like 10 times worse, and it's just like disgusting. But yeah, she tells him to leave and like pushes him up to go, and as she's walking him to the door with the tray in his hand, Qhawe walks in. So it's like kind of like a bump into each other by the door. And Qhawe looks at them and he's like, I was just bringing Mahlomu tea. So Qhawe looks at them. He takes the tray. I'm thinking in my head, woo! But yeah, no, it was a very anticlimax. So he takes the tray and he puts it on top of the dresser. And then he looks at them. At that time, Mahlomu is basically shitting herself. And then he looks at them, and Qhawe is just like looking at him also. And Mahlomu's also looking at him like, it's about to blow. I really wanted it too, but unfortunately, we don't always get what we want. And then he's like, we did it. So he starts smiling. He's like, we did it. We got out. And then he gives Qhawe a hug. In my head, I'm thinking he should be stabbing the F out of him right now. Like, he doesn't he doesn't deserve literally any love from Qhawe, guys. Like, yo, Qhawe drives me. Yo, he drives me mad. Like, he drives me so insane. I want him to die. Like, I honestly want him to die. Suddenly dying was not enough for me. Like, he can kill his brother. It's okay. Like, it's okay. Like, he will speak with his ancestors when he's dead also, because right now, Qhawe deserves to be stabbed. Yo, for the life of me, I want it to happen. But yeah, he says that, and then he's like, go to your brothers and see them. And yeah, so he walks out. Mahlomu goes and she sits by the bed. And Qhawe looks at her and walks towards her, and he sits down also. It goes out of that frame, and then it goes to them again. So it goes back to them sitting on the bed, and yeah, the guilt is eating her. But this show, guys, this show is gonna the end of me. So Qhawe says to her, he knows that things do not look like they're gonna work out for them at this moment, but he promises that he is gonna fix himself and fix himself for his future children so he can be a better father. And then she smiles a little bit, and I'm just thinking in my head, the way they're gonna do you so dirty, the way they're gonna do us so dirty, that child or those kids are not gonna be Mkhele's kids, they're gonna be Qhawe's kids or Sandile's kids, some effed up thing like that. I hate the show. I'm gonna keep on saying that. So yeah, she smiles a little bit, and then she says to him, I hope Nami uzokwazi ukungixolela for my mistakes. And he's like, no, don't worry about that. Like, that's in the past. So basically, we're gonna focus on the future, and no matter what is against us, our love is gonna conquer any trials and tribulations that we've been through. Clearly, if only you knew. Just a few hours ago, she was in bed with your brother. The same bed that you guys are sitting on. So whatever you're saying right now is literally out the window, because stained glass hates us. So she gives him a hug, and yeah, her face is just like guilt, and then she lets go of a sigh. I don't know why she's sighing so early, because she was the one in season 1 saying she has a big secret that she is keeping. Like, after preaching to this man about not having secrets, and then you're gonna go and you sleep with not only one man, but you sleep with his brother. Girl, the first time him not killing you, you were lucky. The second time, he is stupid. But yeah, that happens. She lets go of a sigh, and then it goes to the last scene, which is at the prison. So it goes to the prison, and the guard is calling all the prisoners numbers. So yeah, I guess they don't call them by names. So he's calling all the numbers, and then he gets to Tsar's cell, closer to Tsar's cell, and he's like, prisoner 4775, but I think it says 35 as the title, so I don't know which one is it. So he keeps on saying prisoner 4775, and she is quiet, and surprise, it is not Tsar. Obviously there is another person inside her cell, and the person looks nothing like Tsar. She's a voluptuous, dark-skinned beauty, and it's just like, they really think we fools. Like, they take us for fools. Like, this, at this point, it's clownery going on at that production company. But anyways, she doesn't answer, and then the guard is like, Zandi lengobo. And then she finally says, yeah, she answers. And then the guard is like, if you don't answer when I call you, I'm gonna drag you out of your cell. Do you understand? And then she's like, yes. So we don't know who this person is, this new Tsar, but anyways, it moves on to episode 2, and it's titled Umami. Okay, not Umami, but Mami. Yeah. So they spelled it with M-A-M-M-I-E, but yeah, it's Umami. And it opens up with the annoying Teletubbies, guys. I'm so sick of them. I'm so sick of these brothers. I'm so sick of them. Woo! So it goes to the Majola brothers, and they are going back to the farm, the plot where Nkosana and them dumped the commissioner's wife, and they are looking for the guard who was there that night. So they're looking for this place, and they find it finally, and then the guard sitting by the gate is the same guard who was working that night. So they're like, yeah, that's him. So they get out the car, and so he stands up, he opens the gate. How do you open a gate for people you don't know? Like, who taught you that? So he opens the gate for them, and he's like, can I help you, gentlemen? And they're like, yeah, you can. And they're like, we want you. You were working that day, and you need to get into the car. We need you to get into the car. And he's just like, why? And he's like, so they show him the gun, and he's just like, oh, what is going on? They're like, get in the car. So he doesn't want to. They take a sack and they put it over his head, they put him over the shoulder, and they put him in the boot of the car, drive off. And then it goes to Nkosana and Tsar in bed, and Tsar's just like looking at her man, like she's just like smiling, she's touching him, she's like trying to get reacquainted with the features, or like with the feeling of being around him again and feeling him and stuff like that. So she's just like touching him, and then he wakes up, and then she just like smiles at him, and she's like, why are you awake? and she says, and she's like, no, she's used to MG. My face, guys, literally, I was like, huh? MG. Isn't that very Tsotsi Dal Gauteng? Tsotsi Dal. Yo, at this point, it's like anything goes. So she says that, and he's like, no, you don't have to do that anymore. You can just like sleep in like you used to. And she smells, and she's like, she can't believe that she's out. It feels like a dream. And she's like, I don't want to go back there. And Nkosana's like, you're definitely not going back there. And yeah, then they do their old people stuff. In the book, it was so cringe. So I didn't watch it. Even in the series, I skipped it because yeah, they scenes were very cringe in the book. So because they're so senior citizen. But yeah, they do their thing, and Nkosana's so gentle with Tsar. Like even in the book, like he was very gentle with her. So even in the series, he's gentle with her, which is the one quality that I can definitely approve of. So yeah, they do their thing, and then it goes to them again, and they are just like looking at each other. So the camera is like in Nkosana's face looking at him, and where he's looking at her. So he's like looking into the window of her soul, basically, kind of. So she's just like smiling, and she asks him, Mong Beile, what do you see? And then he's like, Nibonik Sasalam. Okay, Butumdala, see your future, we see you. So he says that, and then she smiles, and then they start kissing again. Yeah. And then it goes to the Majola brothers, and they are the guard tied to a chair, and they're beating him up, and they ask him questions like, whose body was it that the Zulu brothers dropped off that night? And he's like, I don't know anything, I wasn't here, I was working night shift 3 days ago. They're like, yeah, 3 days ago, clearly you were here because it happened then. And he's just like trying to explain that he doesn't know anything, and Geja and Gwaza are just like beating him up. Bang border, guys, bang border, hard. So he's denying it, and then he takes itang inkulu, like takes, and Geja takes it, and he just goes to town on his fingers, I think. And this man is just like screaming and crying, and they're like, I can't. I cannot. And then it goes back to Tsar and Nkosana, and they are in the bathroom. So Nkosana is, I don't know if he's preparing the bath for them, but she's just like sitting there, and she's watching him work, and then she says to him, so tell me, how many women have you slept with? How many women have you slept with? And he's like, like he doesn't want to answer her. He's like, so who were you seeing? Like how many? And he's just like, no, none. And it's like, there aren't any who are going to come back and cause trouble into our lives. And it's like, no, and they didn't mean anything. And then she's like, Oh, budum dala. I mean, like, girl, you were gone for years. So yeah, he waited. He didn't date, but he messed around with a few girls. And then it goes to the Majola brothers again, and they're asking this guy again, like, who was it that they dropped off? Whose body was it? And this guy trying to deny, but it's not working. And then he finally says, okay, it was the commissioner's wife. It was the commissioner's wife that they dropped off, and the pigs ate her. So they get excited. They like repeat it, and it's like, it was the commissioner's wife. And they're like, oh. And they're like, oh, thank you, friend, for telling us. So they leave. Geja takes the gun, and they walk out. As they're walking out, they look at him. He is in the chair still, and they shoot him right here, and he dies. And then it goes to Nkosana, and he is with the guard that was talking to the new Tsar at the prison, and he's giving him money, paying him off, and he's like, your brothers hurt me, and he's like, no, we had to make it look like it was real. We had to make it look real. So yeah, and here's your payment, so thank you. And then this guy's like, you have to make sure it doesn't come back to us, and he's like, definitely won't come back to you. And yeah, make sure that you treat new Tsar properly. I still don't know who her name is. So yeah, he says that make sure that you treat her properly and no one does anything to her. And this guy's like, yeah, no, don't worry, she's gonna be taken care of. And then it goes to the house. It goes back to the house, and Tsar is standing upstairs, and she is looking down, and then she's looking at the door, because yeah, upstairs she's looking at the door. I don't know if she's waiting for her kids to come back from school. And then she is also looking at the portrait. So as she's standing there looking, Mahlomu comes and she's like, Zandile. And then she turns and she looks at her like she's stank, like she had a stank attitude. She's very cold. Tsar, even in the book, like was very cold. Like her demeanor was just like ugh. So yeah, she looks at her like that, and then Hlung was like, oh, you're so beautiful. Which creature? That's not the creature, Tsar. But anyways, she's like, oh, you're so beautiful, and she's touching her, she's faffing over her, like, oh, I'm just like, this woman is just like looking at her like, get your hands off me, like, why are you touching me? Like, she's just like, she has that look like, why are you touching me, girl? You don't know me, why are you like that? And then Mahlomu was like, oh, I've prepared some snacks downstairs, let's go. And she's like, angambil. And then she turns around, she's like, okay, maybe we could go for a walk, see the house a little bit. And she tries to refuse, and Mahlomu's like, oh girl, come on. And then they go, and Mahlomu's taking her on a tour. And she's like, yeah, no, they worked hard. She's referring to all the brothers, like, yeah, no, they worked hard for what they have. And she's like, yeah. And then they get to the living area, and Godli's there, Ntsiga's there, and the one that I hate is there also. And Godli and them gets excited, so yeah, they hug her, and it's first Godli and then Ntsiga, and then Qhawe comes. Mahlomu's just standing there, and when Qhawe hugs her, he's like, I'm so happy to see you, I'm sorry I wasn't there when they got you out, blah 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 blah. So yeah, and she's like, I'm so happy to see you too, and he hugs her, and yeah, he's like, okay, let me just go and organize some drinks, and they sit down. So she's like, so between the two of you, who is who? And Ngoke's like, oh, I am Ngoke, and I'm the oldest one from this one. So they're just like laughing as they're having the conversation. Here comes mommy, 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 like all they hear is mommy, 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 mommy. And Mahlomu turns, and Tsar also turns. She turns, and then she stands up immediately. She stands up, and like she was about to bum rush Mahlomu, but like Mahlomu moved back so she can pass her. So she passes Mahlomu, and she goes to the foyer, and she's like smiling, like she's waiting for her beloved children to come to mummy and hug her because they know who she is. Girl. Yeah, so they literally pass her running, and they go to Mahlomu and they hug her. She's like, oh, I missed you guys, I'm so happy to see you. And she's like, how was boarding school? And Mandy's like, boring. So Tsar's face, she is literally throwing daggers at Mahlomu, like, what the, who are you calling mommy? Like, I am your mother. Yeah, only by name. So Mahlomu goes to Budomdala, he has their bags, and she's like, oh, let me just take that from you. And she's like, yeah, let's go and do your homework, and then you can tell me why you hate school so much. So she doesn't even pay attention also to Zandile and her face. her children are here, so she's gonna be a mother to her children. So she takes them, and yeah, they walk upstairs, and Zandile is just literally throwing daggers, like she is pissed. And Nkosana's just like, Zandile, and she's just like tears in her eyes, and she just walks away. And then it goes back to everybody sitting at the dinner table and waiting for the lovebirds to grace them with their presents, because it's so important. And yeah, they walk down the stairs, Nkosana and Za holding hands, and he's very attentive to her, which I love. He sits her down and he says, "Ngiyaxolisa ukuthi we are late." As he sits her down, Lwandle says, "Wena lo mama usesithombeni?" And Nkosana says, "Yes, she is." And then he walks around and then he says to them, "No, today we are going to be joined by the love of my life. And I know to Lwandle and Spani, I said your mother is dead, but no, she isn't. Uyena lo." And Spani turns and looks at her, and Lwandle stands up and hugs her and says "Omuhle," and then she says "thank you." So she smiles, and then she's waiting for Spani to do the same thing. No, Kid does not do that. He says "Wake uma washon." God goes, "Yeah, what, this kid?" And then Nkosana's like, "Spani," he tries to reiterate to him, like, "This is your mother, and go and greet her." And he's like, "No, you said to me I don't have a mother like the other kids because washon. So angimazi ukuthi ubani lo." Spani was giving me life. Like, you can't come back into your kid's life when you have been gone for 10 years and expect them to be happy. They don't know you. Like, they don't know you. Like, you need to ease children into these things. You can't expect them to be just like okay with you saying this is your mom after you've told me that she's dead. Like, it makes no sense. Yes, for Lwandle, he's young. He can't even form a sentence. So obviously he's gonna be like, okay, yeah, no, she's mom. But like for Spani, and also like it doesn't make sense. Like, how old is Lwandle when she's been in jail for 10 years? She's been in jail for 10 years, guys. No, let's just like do the math here quickly. She's been in jail for 10 years. Spani is how old is Spani? She how old did she leave Spani when she was in jail? Because I mean, Velo is 4. Velo died and he was 4 years old. Lwandle is probably 8. Let's just say that roughly he's 8, and Spani is 12 or 15. Let's just say that 12. Let's say he's 12. So if she left, the age gap doesn't make sense. Like, the age gap between the kids does not make sense, because when did she have Velo? When did she have Spani, Lwandle, and when did she have Spani? Like, guys, stained glass things be fools. Like, what? Spani cannot be 10, guys. Spani cannot be 10 because Spani is the firstborn. So he has to be older than 10. And he has to be older than 12. Because then clearly Lwandle has to be 2 years old. Because Spani was... I can't. It makes no sense whatsoever. But yeah, he's like, like, she's not my mom, basically. Like, and Mahlomu was like, Spani. And Nkali is like, Mahlomu, you need to talk to him. Spani stands up and walks away. Mahlomu is like calling after him. Doesn't answer. And Za is still throwing daggers at her husband. Girl, like, you giving me the eyes. You giving me the eyes that want to kill me is not going to help the situation at hand. Like, it's not going to help. They chose to lie to the kids. So they shouldn't have lied. They should have just told them that your mom is alive. She's in prison and this is the situation. And as they grow older, then explain it to them properly for them to understand. kids understand these things. So yeah, Ulwandle is to say he's still young, so the other one is here. He's not a kid, so they're gonna have a hard time trying to convince Sibane that Zandile is their mom. So yeah. And then Nkosana is just like, I'm sorry. He apologizes to her and says he's gonna fix it. And then it goes to the last scene, which is the Majola brothers at their home, and they are being met by the commissioner. So yeah, we all know what's gonna happen. So they tell the commissioner that they know where his wife is, and he's like, where is she? And then they tell him that she's dead, and he's like, no, not my wife. And they're like, yes, she is, and the Zulu brothers killed her. Then it ends with them, and it goes to episode 3, which is Long Arm of Law. I think that's what it says. Long Arm of something like that. It's Long Arm of War. That makes no sense. But anyway, it's episode 3, and it opens up with the commissioner at the Majola brothers' house, and yeah, they are telling him basically what they know, that they know where his wife is, and his wife is dead, and the Zulu brothers killed her. And he's like, what? How? I don't even know you. Like, what will make you think that I trust you? And he's like, oh, where's the proof? They just like, yeah, Nkosana killed her. And he's like, no, Nkosana is the one who's gonna find her. Like, I'm just gonna leave it in Nkosana's hands to do the work. And they're like, no, Nkosana is the one who killed her, and we know where she was dumped. And then they tell him that they fed her to the pigs, and he's just like distraught. And yeah, they start smiling because this man is just losing it, and he walks away, leaves, and they sit down, and they cheers to their drinks, and they're like, yeah, no, we've got them where we want them now. And then it goes to the Zulu house, and Tsar is pacing up and down, and she's holding her cell phone. Why are they not showing the possessive side of Nkosana? Like, why are they not showing that side of him? Because he is just as bad as Mkhele, besides the beating. But the controlling and the possessiveness, every Zulu brother has it in them. And guys, so yeah, she's pacing up and down, and she's holding a phone, and Nkosana's trying to like talk to her, and she's just like, you leave me alone, like I don't want to talk. And Nkosana's just like apologizing to her, like we decided to not. And she's like, where was I? But girl, you and your husband, oh no, you and your boyfriend decided to lie to your kids and say that you were dead, even though you weren't there. But at the end of the day, it was a conversation you both had, and decided to tell them this lie. So why is it only falling on him because now you are back? So I was very entitled. Yeah, she's very entitled. Even in the book, she's very entitled. But anyways, she's like, how would you feel if your children were calling Engindoda Baba, and my kids are calling Mahlomu Mami? That is their mommy. That is their mommy, okay? Umami wabo Mahlomu, because you have not been there, sis. Like, you have not been there. Like, fact of the matter, you have not been there. Mahlomu got to that home. Your kids were not in school. Your kids had no one to take care of them. She made sure that they went to boarding school. She bought them clothes, fed. They had to be clothed. They had to be fed. She showed them life things. The thing is, Stained Glass didn't give a back story of how Mahlomu got Nkosana and the kids to trust her, basically, or got Nkosana to give her the kids. and the kids to be the way that they are with her. Like that relationship, if it was shown on how it actually grew, what she did for it to grow to what it is, people would understand better why Mahlomu is umami and why she's so important in these kids' life. But anyways, yeah, Tsar doesn't know, like she can't be coming here and controlling things. Like it doesn't work like that, honey. No. And he tries to hold her and she's just like, leave me alone. And then she walks away. And then it goes to Mahlomu in the kitchen and she's baking. And yeah, Tsar comes in and she's like, Bapa bantwana bam. Hello to you too, B. Like, girl, where your manners at? Like, you are in my house, basically. Like, can't you greet? And Mahlomu was just like, I better go play date. Her face is so stank, this girl. Like, she's so stank. So Mahlomu was just continuing on baking. And she's like, didn't you think that I had to know before? Didn't you think that I would want to spend time with them before you sent them away? And she's like, oh no, this thing was planned like a long time ago. So I didn't think. And she's like, yeah. Yabana! What? Say what? Trixie, what now? Whoa. So Mahlomu was just like taken aback. Like she's baffled. She's just like, did this girl just say I don't think? And then she's like, the next time you make decisions about my kids, I'm gonna go to jail. This Mahlomu is too nice, guys. They're making this Mahlomu too nice. Mahlomu that we know and love would have put Tsar in her place. She would have come correct very quickly. Like very quickly, because that is very disrespectful. Homegirl, you're being way too disrespectful. Mahlomu doesn't want to be disrespected, girl. Like Tsar, I don't know where she's... I don't know what she thinks this is. I don't know who she thinks she is. The problem is because they called her the matriarch, that's why she thinks she is in control of that household. Whew. Anyway, so Mahlomu is just like baffled and then she walks away from her. It goes to Mkokli and Tsiga in the bedroom and they're just talking about how Tsar is back now, like the excitement of yesterday's work and how exciting it was to work with the brothers the way they did. And Tsiga's just like, don't you find it suspect that a woman will go to jail for a woman that she does not know? Why is that? Also, I would really like to know, why did that lady go to jail? Oh, now we know her name. Her name is Nomusa. So why would Nomusa go to jail for Uza where she doesn't even know her? And Ngoku's just like, I don't know. It's like, it doesn't make sense. I would really like to know why she would live her normal life and go to jail for someone, because jail is not easy. Like, they know what jail is. They were only there for like a two seconds that time when they got arrested. So Ngoku's like, I don't know, but like I will talk to Ubudumdala because I want to get involved in the family business. Since he is in such a good mood, I'll go and talk to him so he can get me in. And yeah, at this point, guys, Ntsiga is not looking like our black blue-eyed boy. Like, he doesn't look like the black blue-eyed boy. Like, yeah, even the twang is not there. Like, there's no London happening here. Like, he's definitely not gonna go to school. We should give up on that. Like, yeah, we should give up. At this point, I don't even see Smani being intelligent the way that they described him in the book. Woo! Like... And then it goes to Nkosana and his brothers, and they are sitting in the office, and he's just like apologizing to them, saying how he is sorry that he has missed so much work at the not being at the taxi rank. But yeah, he just had a lot of things to deal with. So he just wants them to be patient with him, and now he's just gonna go and drop off Imalga no Musa. And also he just needs Ngoba and Qhawe to mind the rank, the association for now, until he settles, the dust settles with him. And then also for Sambulo to take care of Uza when he's not here, since she wants to go out and shop. So can he please drive her? And then everyone's like, yeah, sure. Qhawe asked to be excused if they done. He's like, yeah, you done. They leave. As they leaving, Mgoti comes in and he's like, can I please talk to you, Budumdal? And he's like, yeah, sure. He sits down and he's like, yeah, no, I'm so glad that everything went so well with the job that we did of getting Osiza back. And yeah, I feel like it's time to get the gratitude back to me. So Nkosana's just like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, I want to be part of this. And Nkosana's just like, no, like, you're still young, you're still a child, and this is grown folks responsibility, and yeah, this job is dangerous, so no, you can't do it. This was a one-time only thing because we needed you. And he's trying to, and he's just like, no, it's not happening. So he stands up. Sambulo is still in the office when they're having this conversation. So Sambulo tries to talk for him, and Nkosana is just like, no, it's not happening. It's not happening. He can forget it. And he walks out, and Ngoti is just like in tatters. He's very brokenhearted, like he's brokenhearted. And then it goes to Mahlomu. So Mahlomu comes around the wall of the house and Tsar standing by the foyer, and she's like, sorted. And she's like, I thought Sambulo is taking me. And Mahlomu's like, oh no, I'm taking you because I thought that it would be nice for us to get to know each other and yeah, like just talk. And she's like, whoa. My son was so excited, and she's like, oh, okay, let's go. So they get outside, and Tsar walks to the Mini, and my son was like, no, we're not taking this car, get into this one. So they're taking the Porsche, and she's like, oh, I hope they're not going to shout at me. Girl, you know they're not going to shout at you because you are Mahlomu. Like, no one's going to shout at you. So she gets in the car, she drops down the top of the car. Let's cruise, babes, let's cruise. So she drives off, and they go. And then it goes to Ngoti by the pool. He is sulking, and Sambulo comes out and he asks him if he's fine, and he's like, yeah, no. And he's like, the problem with you is you ask too much. You're supposed to just do. Sambulo, what are you trying to make the child do? And Ngoti just looks at him. He's like, yeah, like, sometimes you just have to just like take what you want. How badly do you want this? And Ngoti's like, I want it bad. He's like, okay, I will train you, but you need to make sure not to tell anybody. Don't tell no one about this, not even a soul. And I'm just thinking to myself, Ngoti is a chatterbox. He talks a lot, and especially to Unziga. How do you expect him not to tell Unziga, out of all people? But also I'm just like thinking, what trouble are they gonna get into? Because that poster doesn't have them on it. It only has the brothers and the wives and Ntsiga only. So something might just happen to Sambulo and Ngoti. So yeah, with stained glass you can't be too sure what's gonna happen. I mean, Bande died and he wasn't supposed to die, so yeah. And then it goes to Tsar and Mandisa at some store in, it looks like Santinsancy, some store. It's very tribal. It's very Mahlomu. And Tsar is just like looking around like, what am I doing here? And Mandisa is just like, I'm so glad you back, friend, Chami. Like, yeah, they having like a laugh, and she's like, yeah, no, I'm Jiva, it was really hard. Like 7 slices of bread, not my thing, not my steez at all. And then it goes to Mahlomu, and she's by the fitting rooms, and she's on a call, and she's like talking to Qhawe, and she's like, I told you not to call me Qhawe. And Qhawe is like, we need to talk. And she's like, no, there's nothing to talk about. Ati kuye, how would it be if I were to tell Umkhele what happened between us? Musazia. Yazi Qhawe, guys, uyi trash. uyi trash, qualities, good qualities, good qualities amasimba, out the door, out the door. How are you gonna blackmail someone into loving you? Like, at this point, like, Qhawe doesn't exist. Like, he doesn't exist. And Mahlomu was just like shocked that that is coming out from Qhawe's mouth. And then she says, okay, where do you want to meet? And then she changes her mind. She's like, no, actually, I know exactly where we should meet. And then she hangs up and she goes back to the ladies. She comes out with this hideous half jacket, red, and she puts it in front of Zaz. Zaz just like, like she's disgusted. Like, what is this? Like, this is not my style at all. Like, her face is literally saying, why am I here? Mandisa tries to snatch the hanger from Mahlomu, and she's like, no, she needs to see it. And Mandisa's like, and Zaz just like, I don't like it. And then she brings another dress and she's just like, I don't like it. She's like, you don't like it? Like, let's find you something. And Mandisa finds something by a mannequin. It is very skimpy, and she calls sales lady, Lala, I want that one. That is the one I want. And Yaza's just like looking in the mirror, and she's probably just thinking, why am I here? And then it goes to Qhawe and Mandisa. Mandisa is kind of fitting on, not really, but she has the two-piece in front of her, in front of a mirror, and Ngoba's sitting on the bed and is watching her, and she's just like, oh, I should go and try this on. So yeah, she's getting Ngoba excited. So Ngoba's just like, why don't we do something instead of you trying this on? And she's like, no, before we do that, why didn't you tell me that my Chomi is back? And Ngoba's just like, I had a lot of things on my mind. She's like, yeah, but she's my friend, like you were supposed to tell me. And he's like, yeah, but like I'm trying to get something started here, like we can talk about that later. And she's like, okay, let me just go and change it. And he's like, no, you will change into it later. So yeah, I starts kissing on her, like it's a flirty fun time. And then it moves from them and it goes to Mahlomu, and she's at her old place, which is Langa's place now. And yeah, knock at the door. She goes and she opens. Qhawe comes in. He walks to the living area, and she follows him, and she just stands. She doesn't even offer him anything. And she's like, you need to hurry, you need to talk quick, because I don't know what time Langa's going to be back. And he's like, well, thank you for giving me the chance for us to talk. And she's like, it's not like he gave me any choice, which is true. He did not give her a choice. Qhawe has resorted to blackmailing, guys. He is a blackmailer. All of you, Naledi lovers, there's not going to be a Naledi. There's not going to be a Naledi, since there's not going to be a Gugu. There's not going to be a Qhawe, because Qhawe and Gugu are supposed to be here by now. But there's no Qhawe, there's no Gugu, and Mandisa is here. So clearly, there's not going to be a Gugu, and there's not going to be a Slangu. There's not going to be a Sisegelo or Pageme, because someone's supposed to have 2 kids already. 2 kids with Qhawe, Pageme, and Sisegelo, none. Mahlomu was supposed to have 2 to 3 kids now. The twins, Msebe and Langa, Tania, none of them. So, Mahlomu, I have feelings for you from the first time that I saw you at the taxi rank. Mahlomu is like, Qhawe. Like, it's becoming boring. Like, I like, she doesn't want to hear it. And he's like, no, please listen to me. And she's like, no, please look at me, like in beg. He's like, I don't like the way Mkhele treats you, but like, Qhawe, like, does he have this? Does Qhawe have this thing that's in here? Not the skull, the thing that's inside the skull. Does he have it? Because I don't think he has it. With the way that he's acting, he's thinking. Like, so Mahlomu looks at him and he says that, and he's talking, I don't like the way Mkhele is treating you. As he's talking, this one faints. Yo, they're gonna say Mahlomu's pregnant with Qhawe's baby and she slept with Qhawe the night before. Guys, stay in class. I love it. I love this. I love this clownery, because doesn't it take about 6 days for an egg to take? Like 3 to 6 days for it to take, and like about 10 days for it to actually come together and be an actual fetus. I'm very confused how they're going to play that, because it literally has all of these things. All of these things have happened in a space of 3 to 4 days. Mahlomu sleeping with Sandile dying. Mahlomu sleeping with Qhawe was the night before. And Qhawe died. Qhawe doesn't die yet. Yeah, he doesn't die yet, but I would like for him to die. So he tries to wake her up and she has passed out. So yeah, the lies are gonna come with her being pregnant with his baby, or whatever the other nonsense they're gonna come up with. And then it goes to Tsar, and she's looking at herself in the mirror. She has a new hairdo, she has a new dress, and yeah, she's there. Gosana comes in and he has a bouquet of flowers for her, and he gives it to her, and he's like, I don't like the way that you were this morning, like it just like it hurts me when we fight, I don't like that. And she's like, yeah, nam futhi, I'm sorry, like she apologizes also. And then yeah, they kiss, and then he says she looks nice, and then he picks her up, and as he's about to do things to her, they hear sirens in the background, and they're very close to their house, and he's like, I'll be back, stay in the bedroom. And yeah, there's just like cop cars filling up the home, like cop cars everywhere. And then Qhawe comes out and is like, Commissioner, what do we owe this pleasure of you visiting us? We didn't know you were coming. And he's like, this is not a visit, I'm here to arrest you. And Kosana's like, what's going on here? It's like, you are all going to jail, because under the suspicion of attempted murder and some other thing that he counted. And he's like, babambe. And he's like, I've already arrested the short one, which is Ngoba. Already arrested the short one. And then he asks, where's the other one, which is Qhawe. Qhawe is not there. So yeah, they get arrested, all 3 of them, and Nziga and Ngotli come out, and they like search the house. And yeah, I don't know, Za's in the bedroom, so I don't know if they're gonna find her there. And they get in the van, and Qhawe and Sambula looking at each other, and then they turn and they look at Budumdala, and it's like, Ndabezita Bageba Ningawad, like everything's gonna be fine. And then it ends like that. So that was the 3 episodes of season 2, and they were, yeah, a joke, as everything has been a joke. The only thing that's making me feel any better is the fact that Sister Tutu yesterday said she is gonna release new books and she's going back to the writing. So she also is just like detached from this show. Like from what I got from the tweets, she's detached from the show, which is great. So I'm just like learning to detach myself from the show, and just like remember the greatness of the book and the love that Qhawe and Mahlomu had, and whatever relationship Naledi and Qhawe had. But yeah, Mahlomu and Qhawe are my faves, so everybody else don't really care about. So yeah, now I'm just gonna detach myself from the series. I'm gonna give you guys what you want, I'm gonna give you the reviews, but yeah, without any care in the world, none. Although I'm probably gonna chest when Mahlomu finds out that she's pregnant. I'm gonna be upset about that, but also I know that is not how the book plays out, so I shouldn't care too much. But yeah, so we will see what happens in the next 3 episodes next week. Zaz out of prison, and she feels like she's entitled to getting her kids back fully, and they belong to her, and shouldn't be calling Mahlomu Mami or any other thing. Whereas all these kids call Mahlomu Mami, and they call the dad, the brothers, dad. So all the brothers are basically Ubaba. So I don't know what she's trying to do with that. And Qhawe needs to be dealt with, and very quickly. And the Majola brothers, guys, they need to go. I am sick and tired of them, honestly. Like, yeah, they need to vamos as well. But yeah, it's that is basically it for this week, and yeah, we'll see next week what happens. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to comment down below, like this video, and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for watching.